Hi guys. So I have come to realize that I own a very evil, diabolical chicken. She's evil. She's evil, and if you're another chicken that she doesn't like, she's dangerous. And that got me thinking about spiritual protection and how everyone needs to guard against evil. Especially if you are non-religious, not that you don't believe in God, but you just don't go to church, you don't make God a part of your life. You don't, focus on God, you don't focus on angels, whatever, spirituality, whatever. Or if you are a practicing religious person, you're probably already doing these things anyway. If you're so-called spiritual, then you need to be doing these things. And you need to do them right away, and you need to do them every single day. And most people will say that they are not under any type of spiritual attack. That nobody, it's bad enough nobody acknowledges that God exists. Or few people acknowledge that God exists. Okay, I'm not going to say nobody because there's many people that do. But on top of that, you have people who are literally walking around, they're being spiritually attacked, and they have absolutely no clue. They just think, if you're not spiritually focused, you would just think that you're having a bad day, or a bad week, or a bad month, or a bad year, or a bad last 10 years. You might even joke that you're cursed. You may not have any idea what the symptoms of a spiritual attack are. Like, for instance, there is somebody on YouTube that keeps posting videos that's off from their normal topic. It's kind of off the normal topic. Like, they do something. I don't want to call them out. So they do something. And they've been having these panic attacks and anxiety attacks, and they've been having, certain symptoms. I recognize it very clearly as spiritual attacks. But people are funny. I used to suffer from anxiety and panic attacks, and I realized that what was going on was I was being spiritually attacked. It didn't have anything to do with my mental or my physical. And that's what I couldn't figure out. When it was happening, it was like, I could be in a perfectly great headspace, loving life, doing things, and I would, boom, out of the blue, I'd have an anxiety attack. And I told my doctor the same thing. Like, I'm always pretty happy. I'm really not big on emotional shifts. I can get angry at certain things like scams and dishonesty, like you've seen in my rants. But that is very rare, very, very rare. Even as much crap is going on in the world today, I don't have a desire to start a channel that is focused on all that negativity. Do I need to talk about it once in a while? Absolutely. Do I feel it's important to talk about it every once in a while? Yes, just like my house video a couple days ago. Anybody going through foreclosure or dealing with anything something keeps catching my eye. Dealing with anything to do with foreclosures or loan modifications or anything like that, you need to listen to my video for my experiences. I'm no financial advisor and I'm no expert. All I can do is tell you what I've experienced. And I'll be telling you what I've experienced with property taxes in the next couple days, maybe a week. Anyway, a spiritual attack is where it can be as simple and as innocent as somebody wishing ill upon you. And they're so angry, they're so pent up with frustration and anger, or whatever emotion you want to call it, and they're thinking about it constantly. They're thinking about something that you did that pissed them off, or something you said that pissed them off, or something that you do that's, they're jealous of, or they're, what do you call it? Like envious of? Yeah. And if they put enough energy into thinking about that, and they run it over in their heads and they can't seem to get anywhere as far as forgiveness or, working it through, then that can be a spiritual attack. It comes at you as a spiritual attack because all of that negative energy that they're throwing out there, it's coming to you. So, and then that's the innocent part, which is kind of innocent, but it isn't. Let's say that you are friends with another group of people, and that group of people gets together and they talk about you all the time. They gossip about you, they talk ish about you, they just, you know what I mean. They're kind of rude, but then when you show up, they're all happy and nice and sweet and loving and caring and all that good stuff. Yeah. Well, that would be another form of a spiritual attack. And then you have the deliberate spiritual attack, where you have somebody who is a self-professed witch who studies dark arts is doing black magic on you. Something like voodoo. Voodoo is painful, I gotta tell you. Voodoo, yeah. Some other form of dark magic, some other form of dark warfare. And this is where they ritualistically put together a plan to, cause you a car accident or make you sick or whatever their thing is, whatever they want to do. And they do it over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, so that you will feel probably most potently. The other ones you might feel potent. You might feel them pretty good, especially if the person has entities, maybe. Yeah, you might feel them pretty good. But no matter what it is, you have to protect yourself from it. And you may not even know that you are being attacked. You may not even know how great your life could be if you were just doing what I'm going to tell you to do. You may have absolutely no idea that somebody somewhere is repeatedly attacking you and making you feel a certain way or causing delays and frustrations and, things not moving in your life. Oh, that's like a classic. Things just feel stuck. Whenever you're being spiritually attacked, that's often what it is. is that you are being spiritually attacked to just not make money, not find jobs, not be able to move ahead. Like you might be able to maintain, you might be able to kind of keep an even keel, but it's always on the low side and it's never positive. It's never like there's no good news. There's no good news. There's nothing good coming into your life. It's that kind of a thing, right? That would be a spiritual attack. The spirit doesn't function like that. God doesn't function like that. It's peaceful, but it's light and airy and things are moving and divine timing is in order. And if you're not experiencing those types of things, then you might be being attacked. If you have a goal and you're working towards that goal, but no amount of work that you put into that actually produces a result, a positive result of, growth. If you are not experiencing growth in your life, growth in your finances, growth in anything, then you are probably being spiritually attacked. Yeah, those are just examples. And the way it feels, it can feel a bunch of different ways, but let's say there's all kinds of them. All kinds of them. Okay, let's say you lose your job, right? Why do I have like this black stripe like right here? It's driving me nuts. Let's say you lose your job and you're having a hard time finding another job. And nothing seems to be working out. Well, you could say, well, it's the economy, or you could say, well, it's, this thing or that thing, which probably is, I got to turn this TV off. Because it's like so distracting. I have no idea what show was just on, but it was very distracting. Okay, anyway. Weight. People associate weight gain or weight loss with physical health. Now, I'm not saying that is not a possibility. That is very much a possibility. But if you go to the doctor and the doctor says there is absolutely nothing wrong with you, cannot figure out why why you've just gained 40 pounds or why you've just lost 30, whatever the thing is, and nothing you do changes that. Like you diet and nothing, you don't lose weight. You work out all the time and you don't lose weight. You are probably being spiritually attacked. Panic and anxiety are top of the freaking list for spiritual attacks. Negative thinking. Like if you... So I go through these periods where I have negative thinking in the morning. Like as I'm waking up. And I have learned that the reason that happens is because somebody is spiritually attacking me in my sleep. Because as soon as I get up and I start moving around and doing things, and I do my spiritual protection, it goes away. It's gone. See ya. But I can feel it when I first wake up. And sometimes my dreams will be an indication of things that are going on. Anyway, if you've ever had an anxiety attack, that is a good indication that you might have some type of spiritual thing going on. Okay? If you go to the doctor and the doctor wants to prescribe you medicine, I tried it when I very first was diagnosed with panic attacks. Anxiety, I always just kind of, accepted as the norm. But when I went, because I was having panic attacks, they gave me medication. And this was like probably 25 years ago. And I don't even remember, I think it was like Paxil or something. And it was horrible. Oh, it was terrible stuff. I'll never take anything like that again. My gut hurt, my intestines hurt, like I felt like horrible. It just made me numb. It made me feel nothing. Like literally nothing. Not only did I not feel bad, but I didn't feel joy or happiness either. And that's what those medications kind of do. They numb you out so you don't feel anything. Not an option for me. If you do it, that's your business. You do what you do, okay? But what I'm saying is, it might be that it is not a mental or a physical thing. It could be a spiritual thing. You could be experiencing anxiety and panic attacks because you're being spiritually attacked. Because somebody is actually putting a whammy on you. Okay, so what do you do about this? What you do is you devote a certain amount of time every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to a spiritual practice. And what do I mean by a spiritual practice? For me, meditation. You want to do like a daily meditation. When you're meditating, your intuition will improve, your spirituality will improve, so on and so forth. You also want to say a prayer. Find a prayer like, I don't know. Okay. You could sit down with your morning coffee and the Bible and flip through the pages and land on some part of the Bible, and you could read that part. That would be a spiritual activity. You could find books that you like, I don't know, some type of spiritual book. It doesn't have to be the Bible. It could be anything, Conversations with God, or I don't know, Everyday Zen, which those are both pretty good books. But you can look for protection prayers. Look for protection prayers. Do like online search for some type of protection prayer, and pick one that you really like, or 2 or 3, and do those. You want to do like a meditation, a prayer, and then some sort of cleansing. So, and by cleansing, I mean like smoke cleansing, sage. You can burn garden sage. Like if you grow sage in your garden, you can burn that. You can dry it and burn it. You can do white sage. You can do Palo Santo. Although Palo, I would say, is like the least important. White sage being the most important, garden sage being equivalent. You want something along those lines. You could also do, a lot of churches do frankincense and myrrh. You could do those in like a resin incense or in an essential oil or something along those lines. And what you want to do in that case is you want to walk around your house or wherever you live, and you want to allow the smoke to come up, and you want to say a prayer, something very simple. Just, like a cleanse a space, protect and cleanse a space, blah, blah, blah. You could also search for some type of a short, brief little protection spell that you could use for that. And the reason why I'm not giving you examples is because you want to make this kind of You want to make it personal to you. And you don't ever want to share what you do with anyone. Maybe your partner, like if you're, in a relationship with somebody, you and your partner could do this together and then you're both protected. But outside of that, you don't want to share what you do with anyone. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to give anybody any ammunition, any information. No, you don't do that. Your meditation, like when you're doing your meditation or when you're doing your prayer, if you're doing a prayer, you do however you pray. That works fine. If you're doing a meditation, just do your regular meditation, but literally, like, you could go through the steps of like white light protection and, making sure that you're protecting yourself. There are like spells with herbs that you can do, but you want to make absolutely sure that you are doing a white spell. Don't do anything dark, which means you can only, in white magic, in white protection, in white witch, so to speak, energy, you can do protection and protection only. Anything that creates protection. You also want to ask Jesus Christ to assist you in that protection, because that's what Jesus is. Jesus is your protector. That's why they say if you, how do they put it? If you don't, God, I can never remember. I mean, it always escapes me. Do you see Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Yeah, that's why. Because Jesus Christ is the protector. He died for your sins. And Jesus' main function is protection. For everybody. For all people. So you always want to include that in your protection. Whether you're doing some kind of protection spell, but do not do anything outside of a protection spell. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, just call your energy back. No. Your guides will call your energy back when it's time. You never call your energy back, because that is not protection magic. And it can come with karma. It comes attached with karma. So be very, very careful. Be very careful. You can ask your guides to assist you with having your energy come back, and they will. But you can't do a spell saying, return my energy, because that's not white magic. White magic is only protection. And that's for people who are doing quote unquote magic. There are some people who will say that doing a return to sender spell is baneful magic. That is BS. That is protection magic. And everybody in the world needs to do some type of ritual on the new moon for a return to sender. And that is a general type thing that says, here I am doing my thing, not causing any ill, not causing any bad intentions to anybody else. If anybody is throwing magic at me, or thinking bad thoughts about me, or gossiping about me, I return it to the sender. And you can do return to sender things, but basically you're looking for some type of a protection spell that references returning to sender. And what that does is it protects you. It's kind of like a blanket protection that says, I'm not screwing with anyone else. If anyone else just happens to screw with me, because you never know. You could go to the gas station in the morning and piss off the clerk, and the clerk starts sending you some kind of a magic spell. That's what protects you. Doing the return to sender. And you want to do it every month on the new moon. You want to blanket protect yourself from any bad energy that's out there. And yeah, so look for something along those lines, some type of return to, and I don't want to say return to sender spell, although a lot of people do call it that. It probably will have like sea salt and rosemary in it. It might have another herb or two, and I would recommend researching the herbs so that you know that you're not doing something really bad with those herbs before you do it. Anyway, return to sender once a month. Every day you need a spiritual practice. When you get in the shower in the morning, you want to focus on running the water on your crown. You want to, allow the water to wash over your crown, cleanse you. The shower can be part of your cleansing experience. And then you could, you could do a meditation at some point in time during your day. But just know that if you get up in the morning and you do some type of prayer ritual, meditation, protection, prayer, herb thing, something along those lines, your day will be a whole lot better than you would if you didn't do it. On the new moon, do your return to sender. It is not, again, white is protection. You need to protect yourself, and especially right now, the energies that are going around, oh my God, these people are doing things. There's a lot of very, very, very dark energies, and you have got to protect yourself. So if you have any amount of spirituality in you, if you believe in energy, if you believe in light and dark, and you believe that you can be affected by these things, you need to do something. And if you don't believe, then that's just something you're going to have to deal with. I would never advise you on anything, but I would recommend that you start believing and you start doing something, because you're at risk. Great risk. Anyway, another thing that you want to do is you want to avoid alcohol at all costs. You want to avoid anything addictive. Smoking, alcohol, drugs, hell no. Look, man, I've done my drinking in my days. I have done my drugs in my days. I am no goody two-shoes. I smoked cigarettes most of my life. I stopped smoking cigarettes because I was vaping. I am no goody two-shoes, man. I've had my share, okay? I was like a party animal in my teens all the way through into my 30s, And then I started slowing down and I didn't like it too much. I absolutely despise alcohol. I used to just despise alcohol when other people drank. Now I hate it even when I drink. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't like the way it makes me smell. I don't like being around it. And I hate drunks. Oh my God. Have you ever been to a party and you're like, talking to the guy that's drunk every other day and you can't even focus on you and he's, it's almost like you want to reach out and catch him because you're pretty sure it's gonna tip over. Oh, that's so lovely, isn't it? I will turn around and walk away. I don't care. I might even push him over on the way out. I don't like people who do that. That's when you know somebody is totally into the alcohol. Yeah. So anyway, and you don't want to have intimate moments with perfect strangers, okay? By intimate moments, I mean, I don't know what I mean. I mean kissing. Maybe you go to the bar, you get a little tipsy, meet some guy, and you're necking outside the building or at the front door or by your car or whatever. Don't do it. Don't do it. Casual sex would be another thing to completely avoid. It takes almost nothing. You'll hear, readers and spiritualists talking about STDs, sexually transmitted demons. Yeah. STDs in any form are bad, but you can easily run into some very serious trouble by entertaining casual sex. What else? Food. You kind of want to get your food as toxic free as possible. No toxins at all would be really great. But I know that's hard for some people. I think it's a cop-out that it's hard, but whatever. It's your body. Yeah, you want to be careful with friends. You meet some new friend and they're just really lovely and wonderful, and you don't want to move fast in anything, no really fast relationships, no really fast friendships. You want to take some time and get to know people before you jump in to anything binding with them, because people who are on the dark side are really good at making people feel like you're their best friend. They may even be doing spells to make you feel that way. They do some stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, they'll do friendship spells, love spells, I don't know, beauty spells. I mean, there's all kinds of things. So you want to be really careful. You want to really trust your intuition. If something feels wrong, then step away. Get away from it. Don't think, oh, I'm overreacting. I probably shouldn't overreact, Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself into thinking that this person that you are talking to is really nice and you're just, you're just being silly. Just being silly. No, don't do that. If you have a feeling, if that thought crosses your mind, you have a problem and you need to get the hell away from that person. And it could be something as simple as you guys just are not on the same page in life. And that person is not going to be a positive influence in your life. If you really listen to your gut and don't move too quickly. You'll feel it. You will feel whether this person is good for you or they're bad for you. Your body will feel it. Oh, things like, okay, if you meet somebody, let's say it's an intimate thing, you meet a guy or a girl, and things in your life start to diminish, like all of a sudden you're not quite as busy as you used to be. You're not making as much money as you used to be. Your 3 side gigs just decided to walk away from you. Your sales, like maybe you're in business and your sales start to drop. Those are all indicators that whoever's in your life right now is bad. They're bad news, and you need to get the hell away from them. I mean it. It's happened so many times I can't even tell you. If you meet somebody and you start feeling sick, like not because of something that they're doing, but like you're overly tired, or your stomach's always bothering you, or you always have indigestion. I mean, it could be simple little things, you know? It's a lot of times it's not a big deal. It's not something huge. Maybe it's a digestive issue, or maybe you have muscle cramps all the time, or something like that. That is an indication that that person that just come into your life is not okay. There's something wrong. Not that they're not okay. They're not okay for you. They're probably, they might be just fine. I don't know. But there's some reason they're not supposed to be in your life. I think that's probably about it. I feel like I'm missing something or forgetting something. But don't brush things off like, oh, well, it's slow because it's October. It'll pick up in November. And November comes and it doesn't pick up, then you know you got a problem. When people who have bad intentions for you, or are not being completely honest with you, or have devious intentions, when they come into your life and your body will start reflecting the bad things. Like, things will start happening, and it will start happening almost immediately. And then the next thing you know, like, you're spiraling out of control and you're about to have to file bankruptcy, or you're about to, I don't know, go into rehab. The other thing is they're always trying to get you to do things they do. So like if you meet somebody and they drink, they'll always be trying to get you to drink. They want you to become a drunk. If they're doing drugs, they want you to do drugs with them. If they like to gamble, they want you to go gamble with them. Those kinds of things, you know. So don't brush past things like that. If you meet somebody and they could drink a lot and you don't know it. They could say, oh, I only have a couple beers here or there. And then you find out later that they're like guzzling, you know, bottles of vodka in the bathroom like hours before they meet with you. And they're a little tipsy on every time that you meet up with them. Every time you see them, they're actually more tipsy than you realize. I know, I'm going to put weed in there too, because weed is a drug. It's, you know, and there's a lot of people who will be pissed off at me about that. They'll be like, oh no, weed's fine. It's not. It's considered a drug. It's a mind-altering drug. And yeah, you want to be real careful with who you're around when you're smoking weed. And your thoughts. Again, if you're having negative thoughts and it's happening a lot, and like you wonder, or here's another one. You're emotional. Oh yeah. If you feel emotional, and I mean angry or crying or any of that kind of stuff, if you're feeling strong emotion, but you really don't have any idea why, like you're thinking, like you get angry, okay? You get angry. Like you wake up and you're just feeling angry. And as the day goes, you just get more and more angry. And you cannot think of a single thing that happened that made you angry. Don't say, I'm just in a bad mood today. I don't know why. I'm just in a bad mood. A bad mood is an indication you're being spiritually attacked. You get up and you cry all day. Like, and I mean by all day, I mean like you're watching TV and something triggers you and you start crying. And then you get control of that. And then you go take a shower and, you get out of the shower and you think of something and that triggers it and you start crying again. And then you're on your way to work and you're crying and that triggers it. But it might be different things that you're thinking about, or it might be the same thing. But the bottom line is nothing happened to cause you to feel that way. That is usually a psychic attack. Tired. Oh my God. If you are just going about your day and all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, you feel extremely tired, that is also an indication of a spiritual attack. And you will get to a point, and I'm talking about there is no reason for you to feel extremely tired. A lot of people say, oh, well, I haven't had any coffee in like the last 6 hours. That's why I'm tired. That's not why you're tired. That is not why you're tired. Now, definitely caffeine can have an effect. I drink tea. I can drink a cup of tea and go to sleep. I don't have any problem with that. But I do a spiritual practice every day. You'll feel it'll hit out of the clear blue sky. It won't be because you stayed out late partying last night. Well, it might be. But it's one of those things like, your normal day, you're going about your day, everything's completely normal, and yet you feel like somebody just kicked you in the head and only thing you want to do is go lay down and take a nap. That's a spiritual attack. And if you go burn some sage, say a couple prayers, talk to God, that kind of thing, it'll usually go away. And it'll go away almost as quickly as it came. Again, Jesus is about protection. So if you just start talking to Jesus, pray to Jesus, that will usually stop anything from happening. And if you pay attention to it, and I mean by pay attention to it, like instead of pushing everything aside and saying, well, it's because of what I ate for lunch, or it's because of what I did at noon. Maybe I went for a walk after. Well, that's why I'm tired. No, that's not why you're tired. A normal, healthy person can make it through the entire day. Somebody who sleeps 7-8 hours a night can make it through the day without a nap, without a problem, unless they're being spiritually attacked. Then they may drag to bed. They may have to lay down for several hours and try to regain their strength. Anyway, if you don't brush it off, if you don't say it's this or it's this or it's this, and you really start listening to your body and listening to how you feel and question whether or not it could be spiritual. Now, like I said, this guy on YouTube, he is having panic attacks and anxiety attacks. And he has no idea that what he's experiencing is a spiritual attack. He has no idea. And if you are on, YouTube, Rumble, any other type of social media where you're doing videos and things like that, you absolutely positively better be doing some type of spiritual protection, because for as many people as there are out there that like you, there's at least that many that don't like you, and they are going to have an effect on you. So make sure that you are doing some type of spiritual attack. And if you want to know, if you're, if you don't know and you want to know, just put, explain it in the comments, what you're experiencing, what you're feeling. And I can tell you if you're having a spiritual attack or you're not having a spiritual attack. If I'm around. No, I mean, I'm probably not going to answer a whole bunch of questions in comments. I don't know if I have that kind of time, or if I will always have that kind of time. I may have that kind of time right now, but not have it in a month. So don't hold your breath, but I will do every attempt I can to say, yeah, you're probably having a spiritual attack. My advice is, whether or not you're being spiritually attacked right now, you need to develop some type of spiritual attack, spiritual devotion, spiritual prayer every single day that keeps you protected and keeps your energy up and keeps all the nuts away. That is the point of this. And if you can spend a half an hour or an hour doing some form of spiritual devotion, spiritual protection, monthly, you got to do it daily and monthly. You will feel so much better, and it takes a little bit of time. So like, if you're really being like hammered with freaking, let me tell you, I've had some hammering. But if you're being hammered by negative energy, when you start to do it, you may not feel anything for a week, possibly. But after a week, it starts to back off. And it gets to a point where you don't feel any spiritual attacks. Like, your moods stay very even, your life is peaceful, everything is calm, you're not waking up with the sweats. Like, you may still have some things, like I do. I have somebody who spiritually attacks me during sleeping hours, which is really, really bad for karma, just so you know. Don't do that to anybody ever, because you will end up rubbing elbows with the devil if you do that kind of stuff. But some people want to rub elbows with the devil. So I've had, all the way through my life, I've had instances of people messing with my dreams. And when they do that, I will feel it. I will know it when I wake up. It's undeniable. You don't wake up, rah, woohoo, let's get this day going. No, you feel off. You feel, but you'll learn very quickly how to get yourself out of it. You will learn it. But you've got to be aware to know that any of this stuff is actually happening. And a lot of people are just not aware. They go through their entire day, their entire life, not realizing they're being spiritually attacked. And that gives those people who are spiritually attacking you the upper hand. They can use your energy. They can cause problems in your life. They can make your life literally stagnant. You know, it's bad. It's really bad. So you really want to eliminate the possibility of anybody being able to do that to you by doing some type of devotional, some type of spiritual practice. That way, you're covered. No matter what anybody else does, you are protected. Your guides will protect you, especially if you're doing a devotional. Now, they're going to protect you anyway, but when you're doing it and you're asking for the protection, then you'll have more. You'll get more assistance and more protection for doing it. So do a little research, find, meditations, just go through something in your head, about like protections, bubbles, walls, anything like that. But just search the internet and come up with your own customized way of doing it. I will probably in the future have some more suggestions about things that you can do, but I really don't want to put out there. I would never tell anybody how I do it. I don't want you telling anybody how you do it, because that devalues your protection. Somebody can use that information against you and remove your protection. So it doesn't make any sense to do it if you're going to tell somebody, unless it's your absolute closest confidant, like I would say maybe your partner, your husband, your wife, not somebody you just met 2 weeks ago. Yeah, somebody that you've been with for a while, and encourage that person to make their own experience different. Encourage them to do what works for them, because what you do may not be what they want to do. And I think individuality in doing protection spells is a really good thing. Anyway, I have chicken poop to clean up. Love and blessings.